Hello loves, it's Sue and welcome to Get Sold. This is my video edition, diary edition. It has taken me every bit of energy to get to here right now. um yeah, it's still I'm still going through this paralysis situation where 2 days I can function and 5 days I can't. I'm in a good place to do this, thank God, after last year's hell on wheels. How's everybody doing? Like, how are we doing through this energy stuff? I feel like it especially zaps me. I don't know why, but even yesterday I felt like my ears were ringing a little louder than usual. And sometimes they'll say if you're getting downloads, and tell them to be quiet. The other day I thought it was February 22nd, and I was looking forward to that whole portal thing. Always the 222s and the triple numbers, etc. And I missed it. It was February 24th when I looked at my phone and I went, I lost 2 days. I lost 2 days. Whew. So while I've been in this paralysis, I've been trying to do some manifestation techniques with the book that I bought. I've been trying to, you know, keep my spirits up with some of the podcasters that I listen to, so I thought I'd give you a little rundown of some of the ones I listen to. There's ones in the background, like this list is just like within the last few days, but I do have a long list because I think I'm here today, like at this spot, even though it's been, like I said, very much paralysis and shaking off all of the old and trying to figure out what the new is. Um, uh, these people I think have done more good for me than any of the professions have, be it mental or medical at some point, learning things that have worked for people. Anywho, so Elizabeth April had a video the other day which is more of the intergalactic stuff and what's going on with people awakening and what's going on in the world and all that stuff and her remote viewing. So she wanted to explain some of the shadow stuff the other day, and her video cut off completely because maybe it was a subject matter which is pretty brutal but needs to be known. And then she was able to pick it up again on the second video, so that was interesting. Carrie Kay I love because she's really nailing it for me, like when I'm feeling a certain way with the energies and stuff. Man, she just like describes it to a T, and it feels good hearing those words from somebody else when I stumble to try to explain it myself. Like Aaron, I like to try to listen to daily on the Schumann resonance because it has a lot to do with our Mother Earth connection and where we're at. And she'll explain sometimes. I love her words when she says, and you might be a bit spicy today, so watch out with those words. And that's happened a few times. I love Chris Reck, tarot. I feel like his readings with his cards are just really spot on. Somebody new I'm listening to who's not new, but just for me is new, and I've seen him a lot on my lists of podcasters, is Daryl Anchor, or with Bashar, who channels Bashar. And that's been pretty cool. Some of the information I know, some of it I don't, but it's reinforcement when I'm like just kind of in the zone and I'm like, oh, what am I doing today? Getting in that sort of cranky place, and then I'll just listen to a little bit of that. People ask questions about a lot of different stuff. This week I did listen to Crappy Childhood Fairy because I wanted to hear what she had to say on the fact that we never really understood what trauma does to the brain. In the old days, it was considered psychological. But within the last 5 years or so, she's explaining that it is a neurological damage that happens. And that really gives me relief to hear that, because there's a lot of things in my life that I would not have chosen as a human being. Again, the soul chooses for us, and we have the will to agree or not agree, but either way, the soul is the boss. And so that helped me a lot to just validate that I'm not choosing to be a certain way, that the damage was done so early on that I'm choosing to be responsible for it and to backtrack and to figure things out. That's where my merit lies, in that I'm responsible for it and then I'm owning it and trying to figure it out, versus turning to, numbing agents or addictions, obsession, whatever you want to call it. So that I thought was really helpful. I actually posted that one on Facebook because I felt like I know there's a lot of people dealing with trauma, and even though everybody's trauma is a little different, what I'm putting together is that there's sensitivity levels of people, and some were brought in to be sensitive to help bring the heart back to the earth. But the sensitivity part sometimes makes it harder to deal with some of the stuff than, say, somebody who wasn't necessarily agreeing to the healing aspects of it. And so maybe they don't, like, they just roll with it a little easier than some of us do. But, I'd consider mine to be, kind of not nice. Anyways, Maria, I love Maria with a Y. I've learned some new concepts from her, which I never really thought about, but some of the stuff that she's talked about has been super engaging and really, like, thank you. That's a perspective I never really thought about before. Like, sometimes even hair color or the different functions of cats. I mean, it sounds menial, but then she has some very deep ones as well that have been awesome. I gotta tell you, I love Blair White. I love Blair White because she makes sense. I mean, in this world right now, with everybody crying for, look at me this way, look at me that way, all I keep thinking about is when I have had to get through, like, the body dysfunction stuff, but I didn't make everybody responsible for it. It was my own private hell. And I will admit, those around me, to an extent, if I was triggered. But I didn't go screaming out there saying, this, that, or the other thing. You have to call me this, or you have to whatever. And no disrespect, please. I don't want a war. I'm just saying that Blair White kind of puts a common sense back into things, where I think a lot of people are pulling in past life existences. Like, when some people say, and this is kind of cool in my mind, when some people say, I only want to be known as a cat, or I only want to be known as a certain animal. Like, from a cosmic perspective, are you doing that because you're actually feeling that lifetime that you were that, but now everybody has to refer to you as that? I don't know. Maybe that's why some of these people are going through this. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, and I really just got to work on me, not trying to figure everybody else out. But it was an observation I made, and also when I listen to Blair White, I do agree with so much of what she says, and it's a lot like my dearest sister Dita, who I would like to have on this channel. It's been me that's holding us back, not her. But anyways, what else? Soul 2K gave me some insight the other day, because I'm like, why am I, this chronic fatigue stuff, the stuff where I just can't move, what is it? Do I have an underlying infection still in my gums? Have I not healed that? Are there other things? Is it the ADHD thing? Is it the trauma thing? And so he did. I try to figure it out myself. I don't want to ask other people, because I know at this point, like, I had been asked if I wanted to do a reading, because this person really wanted a reading. But I'm to the point now where I just said to him, I said, I am the reader at this point. There's stuff I don't know everything, but I know how I'm supposed to get the information. And that's different than, you don't act like you know it all, but you're like, everybody is their own reader. And that's the message a lot of the podcasters who do cosmic or spiritual or awakening type topics are talking about. It's like, you have the answers. We were just brainwashed into thinking we had to always go externally. And I was, especially being raised codependent, that I was allowed to have a thought of my own, that I didn't exist as a human being. I was somebody else's afterthought or appendage or something like that, to which I had been programmed to respond as they would respond on their behalf, etc., etc. And then I carried that for many years to come. And the undoing has been the last 8 years. So, anyways, what else we got here? I wanted to take notes because I didn't want to ramble so much. because I don't want to make the diaries like super long. And these are part of my diary outside of just talking about emotion and blah blah blah. Okay, what else did I write here? I can't read my own writing, so chicken scratch, but it's better than nothing. Oh, you know what I kind of do is I've never been a forum person, and I have these deep fears of saying anything because I still have to get used to rebuttal. That may not be great, but rebuttal nonetheless. And so I read different topics, and only once in a while I'll add something to it. But I try to make sure it's from my heart space, not the ego or logical side, or in any way putting someone down. I don't want to do that. Like, everyone is entitled to their opinion because that's where they're at. Everyone's entitled to their belief because that's where they're at. As you learn and grow, things change. So if somebody's here, why am I going to, and I have this amount of knowledge here, and they're still, whatever. Nobody's better than anybody. Don't look at it that way. But I'm not going to go down here and argue with this person just because I want to be right. Then I'm using my ego, not my heart. But anyway, so I kind of get to see like a temperature of where we are as a humanity from, say, 2020, in 2019 and 20, when I really woke up to the world stuff. It's interesting. I guess that's my point. It's interesting, but I still have a hard time vocalizing an opinion because I don't want to add to the stuff. Oh, I don't know if I didn't mention this probably last year, but I did go to look at a dog pound to see if I could potentially adopt another fur baby, because I'm finding that all my life I've had pets, and one of the things I'm suffering from now is not having any animals whatsoever, and it's really hard for me. Sad thing was that I fell in love with this pup Gandalf last year, and I wanted him so bad. I was crying, like I was just, but my partner wasn't ready for that yet. After suffering some strokes and so forth, he just wasn't there yet. But for me, on the scale and all that other stuff, being very sensitive, emotional, all that stuff, I see now how those animals, my animals, had absorbed a lot for me to help me. And he's back. He's back at the shelter. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I think one of the things I've learned too, that I guess I was going through a 13-year cycle of things being really tough, not just for me, but others like born around the same time or whatever. And I'm really looking forward to that being gone, done, over, paid the price, bought the ticket, saw the show, done it over. I don't know, I can't read my writing. Anyways, I guess I've said enough. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be in front of you. I'm hoping that y'all are doing okay. I'm hoping that you're using your heart space to help overcome some of the things that we are going through. And I'm sending you so much love, because right now we just all need a ton of love and compassion and hope and faith that we're all going through this together to reach a better outcome, personally and as a collective. I love you. Thank you for being here. I do want to release some of the old, I don't want to say old because it's not outdated, but some older videos that I just have had such difficulty finishing up, editing, or just, just happy things. Not always so serious. Just like, hey, what, I'm taking a drive over here, I'm going over there, want to come with me, kind of thing. Like, you're coming with me, let's go somewhere. And to add a different perspective element to the channel, just like, hey, everyday life kind of stuff. Not everything is a major battle. Not everything is, it is for me right now, but I don't want that to be what everybody sees all the time. It's boring. It's like, okay, show me what else you got. So anyways, I thank you so much for being here. I'm trying. I'm really hanging on by my claws here on a cliff, and I know I'll get up there, but thank you for still being with me. I know some have probably come and gone, and that's okay. But anyways, love you. Thank you for being here. And thanks for being a team player for humanity.